So here's what the problem is. This is a cool item. I love Raycores. I love when they introduced it. The first thing I said was I'm going to build a character around that item. Applying an additional curse is dope. The problem with this item is that's all it does. If you're looking for more curse duration, they wanted ways to get rid of or get better curse immunity or multiple ways to build it. Well, a Crown of Ages still wins out here. Now, I know you can switch some gear around, use like an Odium, and if you have perfect occultists or something, now you only need one curse reduction corruption to actually become curse immune. But at the same time, if you're looking for curse reduction, there's a better item out there. And if you're looking for stats and resistances, well, you can just use, I don't know why I'm going to it like you guys don't know what an Ariat's face is, but you can just use an Ariat's because, well, that's better all around. Stats, res, hit recovery, attack rating. I mean, it's a better item. If you want PDR and resistances, not that one, you have halberds, right? You can get more PDR that way. If you want resistances, more resistances, and IAS and Warcries, there's your Warcry Helm. Hell, I mean, even the Cyclopean, which no Bard player seems to like it, at least breaks some physical immunes. But Raycores just doesn't do much. Its mana leech curse reduction and applies the additional curse is really the only thing cool on it. So when I was trying to build this curse barb, and most of you understood, and a few dumb barbarians were like, just use a big two-hander. I've got it. I run with a barbarian. We build King David's Whirlwind Barb every season for him. We always end up giving him some big two-hander. I think he's got a Cranium Basher with like 4 sockets in it this season. I understand that's how Barb works, and that means the more damage you do, once you're one-hitting things, then the velocity becomes important on Whirlwind, and blah, blah. I've got it. I understand that. I wanted to make Raycores work, and right now there's just no way to do that. There's no items around this very cool, unique helm to make it work. Because right now, the only thing you have to apply amp is Atmas, and with an 8% chance, that's great for like Strafes on, because you're firing so much, it procs almost every time you fire. With Whirlwind, there are periods where it can not proc for 10 or 15 seconds, and then you're just stuck in the dust. Now, I tried Executioner's Justice. The Decrepify does proc, but that's really the secondary curse you're looking for, and you still are stuck using then the Atmas, which doesn't proc. Well, the Cranium Basher does carry the amplified damage, but then you don't have any room for a secondary weapon, which again says, well, what's the other curse that I'm going to use? Doombringer. Okay, cool. Doombringer has Weaken. That was the best combo I found was a Doombringer plus the Vile Tusk. That was the best combo I found, and that's basically what I'm using, but it's still not good. That damage to undead is really underrated on the Vile Tusk, but unless you have a counter weapon, even putting on the Disciple Gloves with damaged demons doesn't do that much. You really need a big damaged demons weapon for it to work. And on top of that, the last thing obviously is the Vile Tusk, which is a great offhand weapon, but then you need something to apply, obviously, your Decrepify, which leaves you with an Exile. And this doesn't really work either. You just don't have enough damage to really get anything done, because Vile Tusk is still a Tusk Sword. Even when you up it, it's not really there. So, my question is, what does this item actually serve? I mean, nothing. It needs a whole rework. The weapons that apply curses need to be changed. And that's the only way to make this item, that is a very cool concept, and I applaud the devs for putting it in, worth anything. The only thing I could think to do with this, currently as it stands, is, well, why am I wearing a Doom? Well, because technically what you can do with this is you can make an Uber tank. Well, not a tank for Ubers, but just literally a class that applies Decrepify and freezes things. Doesn't do much damage, but if you wanted a tank for a group and you wanted to taunt things, well, nothing can hit you. I mean, you need to stand in the middle of it and not take damage. That's kind of neat, I guess, if you desperately need a tank for, I guess, tier 4 maps, but even then the Doom won't freeze things because the tier 4 maps cannot be frozen on them. So I don't know what to do with this item. It's really kind of stupid. The only thing I can think to change, and this would be my suggestion, is keep Vile Tusk the way it is. It has great damage to undead. I think Lawbringer needs to be changed. And I think that's the only way to make Raycores worthwhile. So what I would do is keep the Amlem Co. and add runes to the rune word. Add something that's unused, because one of the things they always want to do is make the unused runes worth something. Add like a Jazad or something onto the rune word, right? So you have to put it into... does it actually have Indestructible on it? Or is that Repair? No, it doesn't. Okay. But either way, add Jawzod, something like that. Add 200 ED and like 200% damage to demons, right? So then you could pair it with the Vile Tusk, pair it with some Disciples Gloves, and now you've at least got a character that can do those maps that don't have a bunch of animals on them. Kind of like my Summon Zon, which is, mostly damage to undead and demons. I really suck on cow maps and Ariads, but that's the trade-off of being much better on, say, Throne of Insanity. Now, if you had this, then you would have a way to apply Decrepify at a pretty reasonable rate, 20%, and the 18% for the amplified damage. Because, even on the Cranium Basher, 10%, it's like, it's not there. And the other big two-handed weapons like Reaper's Toll, it's the same problem. Once you put this on, you lose the ability to apply that additional curse that's actually worth something. So there's my feedback on Raycores. It's been really disappointing. I was really looking forward to trying to build something cool with this and not just test it in Bluggy. I wanted to build it live and see how difficult it was to keep testing and switching out runes and reselling things, and it's just been a fucking nightmare. It's been a fucking nightmare. I'm now stuck with an Doombringer on live that, here, if anyone wants this, here, we'll turn this into a trade video here, guys. If anyone wants this, I'm selling it for like 4 high runes. I'll probably give it up for a burr, just because I have no use for it at this point, because I'm going to have to completely rework this character if I want to do anything with it. As you see, I was trying to use a Vile Tusk even with Crushing Blow to see if that would help with the Exile, and it does virtually nothing. So if anyone wants a Doombringer with 2 lows and 2 ohms in it, let me know, because applying Weaken just doesn't do much. So, very unfortunate. That's all I kind of have here. Raycores just needs, not maybe a rework on itself, but the weapons around Raycores need something, or even apply 2 curses, so at least we can, I don't know, put on the Iron Maiden amulet for fun and memesies. But you've essentially given a cool, unique item that has some potential, but you've given it to the player base that is just obsessed with clear speed, and clear speed. So if they're not doing 20k on the whirlwinds and spinning through everything, they're not paying attention. So what is Raycores actually for? I think it's actually just here to troll me so I can make barb videos and piss off the barb community, which, if that was the devs' purpose in creating this, well, I think you have succeeded. So, I'll see you guys next time. Say bye, wife. Again, who are the dumbest players in PD2?
Apparently David.
Apparently David. That's also correct answer. See you guys. Here, so, wife, I have a question for you. There are 7 characters in Diablo 2 here.
Okay.
Can you look at these characters? So we have an Amazon, Grace and Elegance. We have an Assassin, Traps and Deadly Poisons. We have a Necromancer who raises the undead. We have the Barbarian, who uses brute strength to get what he wants, the Holy Warrior Paladin, the Sorceress, which is self-explanatory, and the Druid, which is also self-explanatory. If you were looking at those 7 characters, can you think of which class the dumbest, brain-dead person would play? Someone like Brian Albrecht, my dead friend. Like, what kind of room temp IQ retard would play what class?
Well, knowing boneheads like Brian, the big guy.
The big guy. So even you, someone who doesn't play, you even laughed at that, knows that Barbarian players are fucking dumb.
From what I know of Brian, apparently.
Okay, so I just want to point out, before I start this video, that even my wife knows you Barbarian players are dumb as shit. Oh, and I'm also not the only person who thinks that, by the way.